I'm here.
Oh,
Can
okay.
can you
Oh,
hear
and
me?
it's, yes. Yep.
I
And it's
don't.
six. Hmm?
This is John. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm doing something different. I'm doing this on the phone, and it's going through my hearing aids. When I got the hearing aids 4 days ago, and I don't know what I'm doing with them. And I don't see myself on the screen, but I see everybody else. So I didn't know whether I was there or not.
You're
In
here.
Yep.
fact, I never know where I am.
Oh, and Mark's here. And Jean's here. And Jackie's here. Yay. Well,
Should have baked a cake.
I know. Well, it's 6:30. And I think we can call the meeting to order. So I am going to take attendance, starting with Joan Coco
Yeah.
and Rosemarie.
Here.
And Karen Fontino said that she couldn't come. And Karen Janowski thought she might make it, but I don't think she did. John Parsons
Here.
here. Karen Panett couldn't make it.
You told me she wasn't coming.
Hmm?
You said she wasn't coming.
No, she's not coming. Jean Prado
Here.
and Marilyn
Here.
and Deborah Small.
Nope.
No. And Nancy T.
Here.
And Jackie Bahama.
Here.
Bahena, sorry.
All right.
And Linda Connors.
Here.
And Beverly's not here. And after I take attendance, I'm going to tell you why. Sally Hoyt, not here. And me. Okay, so we have a quorum. And Mark, welcome. And Chris is here and Jenna is here. Thank
But
you.
Dell is too.
He is?
Yep.
Hi, Fidel. All right.
Definitely should have baked a cake.
Yeah.
Big one.
Technically, we only have one item on the agenda, but let me tell you about Beverly. And she has resigned from the Council on Aging. In December, she had surgery for lung cancer. No, not December, March. And it's going to take her a full year to recover. I talked with her a bit. She's very, very tired, and she decided to resign from the COA. And she was very sad because she really liked being a member of the COA. So if anybody wants to send her a note, I'm sure she would be appreciative of that, but she will no longer be with us. So we have 2 associate member openings on the Council on Aging. All right. So our main agenda item tonight is discussing the letter that we want to send to the select board and to the town manager about some of the comments that we talked about last meeting about the RFQ. And so we're going to spend some time on that. Then we're going to have a quick discussion on timing. Do you remember we also have that the letter with the noxious smell?
Mhm.
Well, we haven't sent that out yet. So we need to think about timing in terms of this RFQ comment letter and then the noxious smell letter. And then I want to talk a little bit about some information that Fidel shared with us today and Jenna about an air quality test that was done at the center in the 18th, I believe it was. So let's talk about the RFQ letter. I did have a couple of comments from Joan Coco. And
Sorry.
and those were the only comments that and they were more grammatical
Mhm.
than one was putting a period in and the other was doing some capitalization of senior center.
Well, I
But
really
what-
want to make a lot of changes.
Yeah. But what we said we were going to do in this meeting was take a vote on sending this letter to the town manager and all the select board meeting members. Did everybody have a chance to read the letter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does someone want to make a motion to accept this letter? And then we can have a discussion, correct? Am I doing that correctly? Okay,
I'll make a
All right.
motion to accept it.
okay. So any discussion on the letter?
Excuse me, Nancy, you want somebody to second it as your next?
Oh, sorry.
I second it, Nancy.
Okay, Joan. Thank you, Mark. Discussion. I did get an email, or Jenna got an email from Karen Janowski. She couldn't make it tonight, but she said she was wholeheartedly in support of the letter as it was written. So that was kind of her comment. Anybody else?
Oh, you know, the
I
other
have
thing,
go ahead, Joan.
I'm sorry, Gene. The other thing I want to say, Nancy, somewhere we should put down what RFQ means.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. We can add that.
Were you an English teacher, Joan?
No, actually, my background's math. But I have a husband and a daughter who both work for work right till this all the time. So my daughter read it over.
Jean, you had your hand up.
Yes, the only thing I suggest is on in the last sentence. I would like to see it stronger and follow up what we were saying in the body of the letter, maybe stating the 60+ Reading residents have waited long enough for an active living center for seniors. That's just my thoughts. In other words, stating what the purpose of this letter really is about.
Not only have we waited a long time, but 20 years ago, the original architect said that the building they put us in was too small. Nobody listened to him.
Is he
How
passed off?
about,
Sorry.
how about they have waited long enough for an active living center? How's that? Does that do it, Jean? In the last?
I'm paying attention.
Well, someone could say, who's they?
Yeah,
Um,
we could put we.
you could say, the needs of our 60+ community, currently 27% of the town's residents and growing, need to become a priority as they have waited long enough for an active living center.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
The air quality test you're talking about, will that have any bearing on the
No,
letter you're
not-
sending out?
Not on this. That's no. Anybody else? Okay. Shall we take a vote?
Mark
Nancy?
raised his hand, Nancy.
Yeah. Who's
Mark
Yeah.
raised his hand.
Could I chime
Mark?
in for a moment?
Sure you can.
Thank you. So, there, we've been, well, let me take one step back. I think it's great to take a strong advocacy position in terms of what needs to get done here. So I applaud that effort. We're trying to figure out what's the best way to do this and to convince the entire community that this is what's needed and it makes sense. And I think we've taken really good steps in the last year and a half or so toward that. And now we need to keep up the momentum and kind of keep things going along as quickly as we can. I think it's important that we find ways to engage the community in the discussion. And again, I think a letter and kind of advocacy like this is a piece of it. I also think it may make sense to have either the COA or some representation coming to some meetings and talking more regularly, if you will, to kind of bring some of these topics up and to kind of get the voice out there more strongly. So I wanted to say, I think that this is a step and good to kind of share what's going on. I think it needs to be broader. And I think that the select board and then the town meeting and then the voters need to be able to understand the need and put together kind of a picture that says, okay, this is a good way to address that need. It's going to meet the needs of the communities that we're talking about, and people are going to support it and vote for it. So I keep thinking of that as I look at the letter and other things, and just making sure that we're kind of keeping that in mind, that we've got to figure out how to get the engagement level up and the support level up, so that people shouldn't wonder what are these folks talking about. It needs to be that they get it, and they're, I'll use the word gently, but appalled at kind of the current situation, and that it needs to change and improve, and it is incumbent on the town to get it done. And we have a headwind in that there are other projects that will be going on at the same time, and always will be going on at the same time. Frankly, somewhat by design, right? We don't want to have every project come up all at the same time. They're spaced out over time. We need to figure out how to do that. It is the time for us to be talking about a senior center. And I want to make sure that we're all the communication expresses the opinions, but also kind of galvanizes the community, saying that, yeah, we got to get this done. So sorry, I pontificated longer than I planned, but I just wanted to kind of share that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just
Marilyn.
want- Mark, one thing we're about to do is we did just at the last meeting approve, and I have an email ready to go to Fidel saying the decision on this. Maybe you already know. We've got an email address for the first time ever in the history of the Council on Aging that you can actually write to the Council on Aging. So we're going to get that on our website and start encouraging people to talk to us, and those will get funneled to Nancy Zimlack, and she will funnel them up as appropriate. But now that we've got that, we're also going to be ready to release a press release that's been ready to go. We just didn't have a good action for it because we didn't have an email address to reach us, but now we do. So I will get that going. Nancy, I just need you to look at my email on that, make sure I'm setting it up the way you want it set up. So when you've got a chance, if you just okay that, and then I'll forward that to Fidel, and then we can get the press release going. I'm just curious, do you have suggestions on these other meetings where it'd be useful for us to talk? I know John Sasso had talked about us doing communication, and he was going to send us a letter scoping out what he meant, and he hasn't had a chance to do that yet. So that's kind of been sitting there over the summer, but it's fall, and I think we're full of energy and ready to start doing stuff. We'll be at the street fair. We're finally having the first piece of marketing type stuff the Council on Aging has ever had of its own. We have jar openers we're handing out that say Council on Aging all over them. Thanks primarily to Jean Prado taking the lead on getting that done. Small things like that just start creating a presence. But do you have suggestions on specific meetings where we should get our names on the agenda and talk for a few minutes?
So I think that kind of in general, and the select board in particular, but certainly others, to come in occasionally and kind of represent what's going on. So you have me and you have Karen as liaisons, and we try to kind of share information that way. But I think it should come directly from council members occasionally too.
Good idea.
Yeah, I
It
think
is a
that'll,
good-
that can make a
Someone-
difference.
Someone else had mentioned that it would be good to also be going to the meetings of I don't know, they can't remember, never remember their exact title, the inclusivity group. Because that's really a major piece of what this is about, is having an active living center that all seniors are actually included if they choose to be. So we need to get people to think of that as including other groups like the elderly.
If I could suggest, I think maybe, so not strictly on the topic of tonight, but maybe at your next meeting, that would be a great agenda item to talk more about.
We'll put it on the next. Joan?
Yeah, I want to ask Mark also, can we get somebody to talk up to the SWEC group? Everybody else has got the paper with SWEC, except us.
So do you mean to get information about it or to participate with it?
To get our, show up and get our vocal. Because, you know, if the pickleballs can make the newspaper, why can't we?
Yeah, spot on. Also, remember, so Karen Janowski is on that
Our
SWEC
rep.
committee
Yeah.
also. But I think the same thing that I just said. I think you need the representation, but actually kind of coming sometimes, I think, makes a difference.
Thank you.
Good idea.
These are all good suggestions. And I think the idea of putting it on next month's agenda, which is September 11th, we meet next, which isn't too far away, and talk more about these ideas and hopefully maybe get different members that are willing to volunteer to go out and kind of like be the liaison or the rep to another group. So anyways, we'll talk about that in detail next meeting. Thank you, Mark. Any more comments on the RFQ letter?
Could I just, I don't know how to put my hand up where I'm on this phone rather than being on a computer. I'd just like
sure.
to comment a little bit of what Mark said. There's an old saying about, you know, people respond much better to what they see than what they hear. That's why in school systems, they always put stuff up on chalkboards because children learn much better for what they were looking and seeing than if someone was just talking about it. And that's a little bit about what Mark is suggesting. If they see you there, it's a lot better than just hearing about you. So I just want to support that. That's all I've got to say.
Great.
And next
Thank
time I
you,
will try to do it this way.
Thank you very much, John. I know we miss your face. Any more comments on the RFQ letter?
Rosemary's hand is up.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Oh,
just
yes, so
thinking-
sorry.
Can we have a town meeting member at the Pleasant Street Center instead of at the high school? So that we could set up chairs for them and they can see how crowded it is. We can take them to the bathrooms and see how outdated it is. We can take them downstairs and they can see firsthand and smell the mold that's down there. Can we have a
There's a
town meeting member?
That's
There's
that's
192 members. Forget it.
yeah.
What?
That's another good idea, Rosemary. So let's Nancy T will get that in the notes and we'll talk about that at the next meeting.
If
What
they
about-
come,
what
we
ab-
have to have coffee and goodies for them. We can't
Sure.
just say, come to the Pleasant Street Center. You need to feed them.
Yep.
We have town meeting members, don't we? I thought we had town
No,
meeting.
the town meeting members who meet at the high school to discuss various issues and vote. Why
Yeah.
can't we have that meeting at the Pleasant Street Center? So
Because
they,
there's 192 members.
It's not big
Let's-
enough.
The selectmen are
Let's,
there.
in order to move this meeting along, because it's only supposed to be a short meeting, let's focus on the RFQ letter.
Okay.
And are there any more specific comments on this letter? Shall we take a vote?
Sure.
What was the motion again was to accept Who gave the motion? I'm so sorry.
Most we did.
Rosemarie. And I think was the motion was to send the letter out as written to the town manager and the select board members. Correct?
I believe
With
so.
the changes that were made.
And make the changes, which were pretty minor. So I think we're good to go. Shall we take a vote?
Well, are we sending the letter to the town manager too?
We're sending it to the town manager and all the select board members. And they do meet tomorrow night. So, but hold that thought for a minute. First, let's approve this letter or not.
Okay,
So I'm gonna read everybody's name and you tell me whether you vote in favor of the motion or against. Joan Coco,
in favor.
Rosemarie,
In favor.
Karen Fontino.
He's not here.
Oh, she's not here. Sorry. Neither is John Parsons.
Yes,
That's not here. Jean Prado
Yes,
and Marilyn.
Yes, in favor.
Debbie Small is not here. And Nancy.
Yes.
So
And you,
we,
Nancy V. Oh, sorry.
I
you're not-
can't. I'm just the facilitator. But so we've voted in favor of sending this to the select board and the town manager. And I will do that tomorrow. How does that sound? And everybody gets CC'd. So everybody will know when I do it.
Nancy Fidel's hand is up.
Yep,
okay.
Fidel.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Madam Chair. And I've got to run to another meeting at 7:00. But obviously, I feel like I've seen all of you in person, and you know, I'm always willing and able to hear feedback. You know, this work has gone on for a year and a half. I know that this RFQ in particular, we've been talking about for a few months. You know, we spent a lot of hours, actually met with Nancy and Marilyn to incorporate it as many of the feedback as possible. You know, I'm always a consensus builder, of course, but I just wanted to reiterate that we welcome the feedback. Ultimately, it's going to be a team decision. You know what is incorporated and what is not. But please know that I speak for myself and just say that you know we take this work very seriously, and it is a priority for us.
Thank you, Fidel. I would say we can all echo those comments right back at you and the select board and the community service department and you know, the PSC. It seems to be a wonderful collaborative relationship that we've developed in order to move this process along. So thank you. Rosemarie. Marilyn.
I just wanted to add, I'm on a campaign to applaud them. North Andover faced the challenge of community center versus senior center as well. And they ended up with community support, making their new amazing senior center a senior center, not a community center. It went out to vote in the community. It was discussed at length. There was a strong group doing just the same thing, saying, you know, make it more accessible, more appealing to everybody. It will go better. And ultimately, the community said, no, what we really need is a senior center. And they have it. It's amazing. Anyone who hasn't gone up to see it yet, I encourage you to take the field trip. It's lovely.
Thank you, Marilyn.
It can be done. What, you know, like presumably somewhat like thinking, I don't know that North Andover is that different from Reading. I have family there, so I don't see any difference. They're all part of my family. You know, reasonable, hardworking people can see the need for a senior center and go ahead and build it. And, it doesn't mean that they won't share it with the community, just as they have availability of space and things, but it's clearly stated that it's a senior center first and foremost, so it can be done.
Thank you, Marilyn. Now, if we can move on to the do you like how I share my screen? The noxious letter that we all agreed that we wanted to send that to also the select board and the town manager. I did make a couple of phone calls. John Parsons had suggested that I contact Nora, and Nora saw the letter and she was fine with it. And so the letter is ready to go. My question to the group is timing. And this really does kind of fall into what Fidel has done recently with getting an air quality test available from the Pleasant Street Center. I think it was on July or August 18th.
It was just this past Friday afternoon they did it.
Okay.
Can I just for 1 second, if I could, I'm going to run to the same meeting that Fidel's at. You are. This isn't actually part of tonight's agenda.
I know.
So you need to be careful.
Well, Mike, it kind of is in a way, because we have two letters that need to go out to the same group. So is one letter more important for impact, which is the RFQ, or is the noxious odor less important, but still needs to go out there? So in terms of timing, should we just send them both out, is what I'm asking the members.
So you can't actually take a vote on that tonight. It's not on the agenda. You can't do
because
that.
it wasn't on the agenda.
Yeah.
I think we accomplished everything we needed to do tonight. We can, I think everyone knows that we have done something with the air quality. I think that's enough for tonight, but we can, get that next meeting and do that letter later.
Okay. Jean?
Did we not vote at our meeting that we agreed to send the letter?
I
Don't remember.
don't remember.
I think we did.
I think we did too.
Okay.
There was a minor edit to it, but with the edit.
Yeah. So I don't know.
We didn't
maybe-
say the date on which we'd send it, I don't think. We simply agreed to send it. So.
Yeah. But Mark's right. We can't take a vote on, we can take a vote on the RFQ letter, which we all agree we should send immediately. And I'll go back and listen to the meeting and see what we actually said about it.
Are you able to share the results of the air quality test with us tonight?
It's not part of the agenda. So it was just, I brought it up because it's something that was done recently. So there's going to be scuttlebutt. People are going to be talking about it. And so I brought up, that's why I brought it up tonight, even though it wasn't technically on the agenda. But no, we cannot talk in detail about it. But if anybody's interested, email me and I will send you the report. In a nutshell, during the summer with the air conditioning on, there are no noxious, the air quality.
We know that.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah. So, I would like to make, I can't. Nancy T.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I didn't think you could do that.
No, you have to ask each one of us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because we're on Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, Joan Coco.
Yes.
Rosemarie,
Yes.
Karen Janowski. Oh, sorry. John Parsons
Yes.
and, Jean Prado
Yes.
and Marilyn
Yes.
and Nancy T.
Yes.
All righty. So we will see you all on September 11th. And send me any agenda items in the meantime that you might like on the agenda. All right?
Thank
It was
you.
Thanks,
nice
everyone.
seeing everybody.
Yep.
30 minutes.
Good night.
Good job.
Night,
Thank you. Good night.
Right.
night.
Good night.